I think I finally figured out why Spider-Man's eyes are turning black in Spider-Man Brand New Day, but the answer might shock you and you might hate it because no, it's not the symbiote. I think it's going to be an amalgamation of a couple of different stories from the books, but mainly an adaptation that I've been asking for since Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, because I think this movie could potentially be the answer to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 and put it up there with one of the greatest Spider-Man films ever. But either way, me and you know what we got to do. We got to talk about it. First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil and Uncle Ben and Aunt May for real. And I can hear y'all screaming, no, it is the symbiote, Sammy. No, it's Man Spider. No, it's the other storyline. The truth is way deeper than that. It's deeper than rap. And what I think they're doing proves that Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be the dark, twisted inverse of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Let's rewind to what I consider the best Spider-Man movie ever, and honestly, my favorite film of all time, the greatest movie ever. It's perfect. 2004 and Sam Raimi's illustrious Spider-Man 2. Yeah, I needed to glaze it that hard. But look at Peter in that movie. He's absolutely miserable. He's going through hell. Pouring himself into the mask and trying to balance the life of Peter Parker and Spider-Man is ruining his life, because if Spider-Man wins, Peter Parker loses. And if Peter Parker wins, Spider-Man loses. And he ultimately feels guilty from his great responsibility. He shows up late to class. His grades are slipping. He always appears exhausted. He has to keep the secret of his father's death from his best friend. He can't even deliver pizzas on time, and he can swing from buildings. It gets so bad that he doesn't even remember that it's his own birthday that day.
What's the occasion?
Oh, really, Peter? It's your birthday. Whether you want to remember it or not.
He can't even make it to MJ's play after he promises. The planetarium scene is perfect because that's when it all comes down on him. First of all, that brother can't even get a drink or a snack. Is getting used as a tool by his boss, J. Jonah Jameson, to take pictures, which you're inadvertently hurting your own reputation because it contributes to the slander of Spider-Man. At the same time, your best friend gets drunk, slaps you in the face in front of everybody, and then immediately after that, your boss's son asks MJ to marry him, and she says yes, and he has to sit there and take the picture. The psychological and emotional stress is so heavy that his powers literally fail. His human side, Peter Parker, subconsciously rejects Spider-Man. He just wants to be a normal guy, and that's when the man defeats the spider, which is a direct adaptation of Amazing Spider-Man number 50, Spider-Man No More. Now let's cut to Spider-Man Brand New Day. 22 years later since that film came out, and because of Doctor Strange's spell, nobody knows that Peter Parker even exists. He has no human life. It's been erased from the history books. No Uncle Ben, no Aunt May, no Iron Man and Avenger safety net, and he had to lie to his lover and best friend in MJ and Ned to keep them safe. Peter Parker has to lose, but he twists the knife in himself because he constantly checks up on them and sees that their lives are so much better without him. And how does he cope? He completely buries himself in that mask, pouring himself into his work. He overcompensates by being Spider-Man, that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man 24/7. But based on the trailer, this extreme trauma, stress, and emotional dissonance is causing his DNA to evolve violently, ferociously, ferally. He's manifesting organic webbing, swinging at speeds he never thought he could get to. He's losing control, and that's because the spider is beating the man. And I think that's causing him to become more animalistic in nature, because instead of Spider-Man no more, he's saying Peter Parker no more, like Amazing Spider-Man 392. And in that storyline, he cocoons up after having so many traumatic events, Aunt May having a stroke, going through the Clone Saga and all that bullshit, to the point where he rejects his human side, comes out of the cocoon, rebirthed as just the spider. A silent Spider-Man, you can miss me with that. That is a horror villain. Sheesh! And what do we see in the Brand New Day trailer? Him waking up outside of a cocoon, with him having no recollection of it because the spider side of him is taken over. I think it's mainly going to be that storyline they adapt, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you like they can't add a little dash of the other. JMS, J. Michael Straczynski, introduces to the spider totem shit, and only read that if he's the one writing it. But in that storyline, Peter's body is literally pushed to the brink of death as he's forced to confront the Great Weaver, the mystical totem that grants him his powers. I know this is a crazy retcon, but it attaches him to the web of life and death